We return, part 15. We now have as many parts as there are games, main series games. 15 Final Fantasies. This is the last one. Then we're off into the mysterious unknown, with 16 has recently been announced. Is coming out. So, lots to talk about here. I spent maybe 15 minutes running up and down these 3 maps, collecting Alaroons and stealing from them and killing them. I'm actually at a really high chain right now. In fact, I'm going to show you. I promised myself I wasn't, and we'll turbo just for this because this was not meant to be in the video. I promised myself I wasn't going to do this because we're going to build some other high chains later anyway. But if you look at this, oh, explosion trap, good job, Van. If we kill this guy here, are you going to attack? You'll see that when the number that pops up with the chain is 89. Look at that. And we get 2 earth stones and we get 2 succulent fruits just for that 1 kill, plus the extra fruit from stealing. If Van hadn't died and had to be raised, he would have landed that. So you can get a ton of succulent fruits really quickly. And the method is just to go backwards and forwards. Now, you might be wondering if there's anything that breaks a chain outside of just hitting a new enemy. So remember, you stick with the same genus and you're fine. There is something that breaks a chain. Hitting a save crystal. You even tap it. It's not about saving the game. It's just tap the crystal to regenerate your MP and health and stuff. The chain breaks. And that's kind of a deliberate thing because if you're building a long chain, then, you know, it's meant to be this long process that slowly wears you down. And then you're happy when you collect an item that gives you health and stuff. There's a whole balance at play. Which meant also you could never save the game with a chain in progress. That was never a thing. Until the re-releases when it auto-saves, the super new re-releases where it auto-saves every transition. So now you can save with a chain, makes this stuff even easier. But so that's how I got 99 fruits, because you can get like 4 from a single kill. And let's sell them. So what have we got here? First of all, the greens that we bought, earthstones, good amount there. And here they are, 99. That gives us 35,000 gil. Which is about as much as you need to completely cap out this guy's inventory, even if you've not been doing side quests yet. So the way I've got the game balanced is that we do the side quests as we go, and we need that money. But I haven't really been doing the hunts just yet, so I'm using this technique here. You also notice this new item, a Capricorn gem. So a yellow gemstone bearing the name Capricorn represents the forces of order and rule. So, again, astrology and the constellations in the sky and the zodiacs are big things for, you know, Matsuno's work with Evilis. And these are items you'll get. You'll find Libra gems and Pisces gems and Gemini gems as we go along. Looks like Capricorn is the first we got here. I actually re-killed the Fidelant, by the way, and you can just throw a Phoenix down at him. I should have just done that before. That would have been even easier than relying on Doom and all the high potions. So I reloaded a save and just threw a Phoenix down. We've got those high potions back now. Maybe I got the Capricorn gem from him. Large feather. These firestones. Now, here's the holy stone we got from dealing with the Giza minigame. A stone infused with power most holy. It looks like an ordinary stone, but merely placing it in your hand gives you a feeling of a tremendous peace. So, you guys might not know this, but the guys that made Dark Souls made a game for the PlayStation 2 that I've never met anyone who's played it, but I'm a massive fan of it. It's called Eternal Ring. And in Eternal Ring, you find all these elemental stones like this. And in 12, I'm always reminded of Eternal Ring. It's very weird. Anyway, there you go. So we'll sell those. New Bazaar goods. First aid kit. Cheap Phoenix Downs. Now, some of these are repeatable. These are because I loaded my save before. Some of these are repeatable. And look, we can even afford the Grimoire now as well. I'm not going to burn 18,000 on that. So, 40k. Let's pick up some stuff. I'm going to get an ancient sword. Barsh will be able to use that. The Kogarasu is a katana that will inflict blind. Ash could use that. But I'm actually going to swap over to crossbows because we haven't seen that yet. Musk Stick. Now, that's a pole. We haven't been playing with those yet, so Pinello can use that. We could go with a killer bow for Fran. Or we can put her on staffs, which is what I think I want to do. Now, you notice I actually have 2 wizard staves now. That's because one of the chests near the Alaroons will sometimes drop one. Also, you can get an ancient sword from those chests. Also, if you missed those spells on the Leviathan earlier, they will appear as chests in that area right here in the Ogre Yensa, so that's where they'll appear as well. Those chests aren't there for me because I collected them on the Leviathan, but they are there. Hammer as well. This is brilliant. Inflicts Disable. Actually, I might put that onto Bosch. This is pretty good because you see the Ancient Sword has an element on it. It immobilizes and it has earth damage. That's amazing because a lot of stuff is weak to earth. And now he can do that, but also disable strike. Oh, so good. A chance to disable just on hit. So we got some decisions. Now, what I'm going to do is buy 2 balaclavas, light armor, bearing health. 2 mystic armors, the wizard hat and wizard robes, bearing MP and magic resist. And 2 heavy armors, bearing, you know, you've got magic resist there, but also just very high defense here. 2 of us are in heavy, 2 are in mystic, 2 are in light. That's the way I'm doing anyway. And we can also buy multiple shields. I already have one because we stole it from Bagamnon before. But now we can equip one, say, over here. Lose some magic resist. Now, how much money we got left? 15,000. Let's go to the spells. Poach. Really nice. Let's pick that up. I'll talk all about poach as we go forward. Horology. And by the way, we could have got this early at Giza and been poaching the whole way through up to now for players that sort of grind a bit more. Horology. Now, this removes Petrify and Doom. So those 2 status effects have like countdown mechanics on them. 10, 9, 8, 7. And this will get rid of them. So Petrify, obviously you've got another method. You can throw a gold needle. But this will get rid of both at once on everyone. Remember that Wraith in the sewers? Ah, well, we can deal with that now pretty comfortably, can't we? There's also Charge, but again, we don't have the license near that. And finally, Charm. So cause a foe to become confused. Now, this one's really fun. Finally, black magic. Oh, we're just going to have enough money, I think, here. Oh, maybe not. Okay, so Quake, AoE earth damage. Only time mages can use, so that's going to be Ash. Aero, really good for Fran. And then Cura, AoE healing for Pinello. Woo! Look at all of that. So, that's a hell of a lot of stuff. And we just about had enough money from the 99 things. Now, also, people have been getting points. Ash, I haven't spent any on for a while. I will note, off screen, I just picked up this gambit slot and this accessory for Bosch, because that's the diamond armlet. He's been wearing the armlet for me. And he's got more accessories there. So, what I'm going to do now is get people's strength up. I'll just spend a couple of licenses here. You know, we can only afford a couple, and then we're done for. So I could get this battle lore for 80 or this one for 40. They both do the same thing. This will give him MP back after taking damage. This is a very special perk. You only get a few of those. I think I'm actually going to go for health for him, though. Oh, wait. Weapons are the important thing. What am I doing? So hold on. The Warhammer's over there. Okay, we'll go the Zwill Blade and the Ancient Sword here. Equipment is the main thing we'll focus on. And then when he gets points as we travel through here, we'll go up to the Warhammer. So we'll use both, I guess. Right, now for Ash, she can use Crossbows 1. We can pick up Time Magic 1 for her as well. Just don't go for those other perks until you've got your bases covered. Now, balance, by the way. Larsa, it was on the footage, but I missed it. Larsa could use balance a few episodes ago. But now we finally have the license for it, not the spell itself. Quake, so that's good. Ash will be able to cast that. Then we can get her the heavy armor that we've just taught her, so she'll be nice and tanky there. And that's it for her now. She pretty much can't afford anything else. Well, except the early black magic, so screw it, I'll pick those up. So good job to Ash. Moving on, we've got Pinello. Now, this one's really good. Spellbound. Everyone has Spellbound somewhere on their board. What it will do is increase the length of Shell and Protect and stuff like that by 50%. This doesn't mean that... So, this is the effects on her. If she casts, like, regen on someone... We haven't seen regen yet. But if she casts that on someone... It's not boosted. It's only the effects on her. It's not the effects she applies, if that makes sense. So you want to pick this up on everyone on the team eventually. Pinello gets it nice and early if she wants. I actually am not going to worry about that. So let's go with the armor again. Now, Cura, she already knew how to cast, so that's good. Next, white magic is Dispel and stuff, but that's not there. Now, the poles. We did just buy her poles 3. So the Cypress pole was available earlier. Now we can get her the Musk stick. You know, maybe we didn't buy this pole here, so we'd stick with Cypress for a little bit. It all has a place. There's also rods, which you can combo with a shield, but we won't use those for now. Could give her the diamond armlet. She really doesn't have any points left, so let's just pick up a magic law. I think that's a good idea. And oh, look, she's near her limit break system as well, which I've still got more to talk to you guys about. So we could grab Adrenaline on Varn now. He's pretty much capped out, but let's make sure we've got his most up-to-date light armor, which is all the way up here, the balaclava. That's the most important thing. We can also upgrade his shields, which is pretty good. And we could give him a diamond armlet and the battle harness. That's nice. But look, focus is here. So now Vaan can actually start doing damage with his daggers, which is good. Over to Balthier. I've completely messed up. My plan was to specialize up here. But hey, whatever, I suppose. Balthier, we could pick up a mist ability. I wanted to get him oil since forever, so we'll finally do that. You can combo with Fran. We'll get him a gambit slot for that too. Also, his potions, his regular potions are dropping off a bit, so let's grab potion lore 2. And then again, we need to focus on his gear. So light armor 3, sorry, and light armor 4, so he can actually equip those. That's him pretty much sorted. We didn't really buy him a new weapon here, but it's okay because he's got the Vega. If you remember, we got lucky with that last part. Now, staves. Finally, look at this. Sorry, Fran, you never got to use the cherry staff. It's actually now been outdone. I'll leave that there until a later time. Also, we could go a bit further with our bows for when we find a new one. But, I mean, we kind of did decide against that. As for black magics, another gambit slot is always going to be good. What have we got here? Charm. Nice. So, Fran will be able to confuse things. And we can even get her a slot for that, too. That might have been a bit dumb. I should have got her Mystic Armor. The Wizard's Hat and the Bolero. Well, that's fine. We'll pick that up in a little bit. And there you go. So, that's everyone. Now, here's a beautiful moment. I always love these sections. Ready? Optimize. Optimize. Except, also, we do want you to have the gun. Here. Plus silence shots. Optimize. Wizard Staff. Upgrade. Well, hold on. And now she's taken off her Mystic stuff. Which isn't really what we want. That wouldn't have happened if I had specialized a bit more. But staying on Mystic keeps her magic strength high. Optimize. You can go up to the Ancient Swords. Optimize here as well. She's still on the Osafune. Oh, the bow guns are crossbow. We didn't actually learn the thing for. Okay, fine. And then we'll pick that up as we go along. Penelo's looking good, though. Everything about her is sorted. And we could give her the Tourmaline Ring, which Barsh is no longer using. So, the only other thing for us to do, we're now ready to actually go out on our adventure. And you'll see Barsh has lost a little bit of health there because his max has gone up. The only other thing to do is to set up gambits, which I won't show you guys, you know, me manually toggling and setting all that stuff up. Let's just get back over to that other map now, shall we? So, we're all going to be a lot stronger and more capable now, which really makes me happy. Barsh almost up to 1,000. By the way, Vossler, we could once again put Blitz on. But I'm actually going to leave him with regular attacks. One of the things I never mentioned about regular attacks is that they'll combo. He won't combo with Blitz, but he will combo with his regular attacks. So that's a bit of the balance. Yeah, Vossler's going for it. I thought he might. So, the Yensa are here. These guys come in a few varieties. Nice. Barsh immediately with the Immobilize. These guys cut. And do you like how he has one immob thing and one disable thing at this exact moment? It's really good, right? They come with a variety of things. You see, these guys actually have auto haste on them. Some have bows, as you can see there. Now, the guys with the bows have a special ammo. Do you know how we got, like, silent shot for Balthier? And he silences as he shoots. These guys will, they have what's called bamboo arrows. They actually have poison. So, the poison will be a continuing threat as we go along. The nice thing is that, oh, good, we got a little bit of doom there. The nice thing is that we now have Penelo who can just cleanse that off of everyone. In fact, Penelo's generally really good. Why isn't she doing it by default? Oh, yes. Okay. But Penelo is silenced. That's going to come on us as well. So here's what we're going to do. Instead of this, which wasn't needed, we're going to go to items, Echo. Oh, I should have stocked up on Echo Herbs. We'll be all right. Echo Herbs, self. And it doesn't really matter what priority this has, as long as it's above attack. If she gets silenced, she can't cure, she can't raise, she can't poison, she can't blind, she can Echo Herbs. And then she'll cleanse the silence off of herself, you see, with the Echo Herbs. That's a really good gambit to put on most of your casters. And that way they won't throw the Echo Herbs on people that don't need them. And if you gambit something else later, like a technique, they'll still use those techniques first, assuming that's what you want them to do. But I nearly always have that available. So there, we just got a Knot of Rust. Now, Knots of Rust are still available on the Diamond Armlet. They're just very rare. And so we can get a supply of these. We can use them to, like, assassinate people, as you see here, later. It's kind of up to us. You see, I already got 3 of them. But yeah, as we run around, hopefully we'll get some other new loot. Penelo throwing the blinder up for us here. Now, at the start, she's got 183 MP. We're going to want to watch that. As the video goes along, I'm sure she'll end up being very low, and suddenly you'll see people have statuses sticking on them. That's where immunity accessories are good. Right, and in general, we're just going to travel along. Now, that whole area was pointless, I guess. Or this whole area, we're still deep in it. There is a chest here. There are a couple of spells off the beaten path as we travel through here that we'll want to watch out for. And in general, you can make a beeline if you like. So let's talk a little bit about our quest again. This King Raithwall guy was mentioned, and you remember Balthier was like, Raithwall, you say? Ooh, that's interesting. Now, there is a clan primer entry that talks a little bit about Raithwall that I was really debating if I wanted to give to you guys. We'll turn to the speed to fast here as we move and make sure we stay on active as well. Are we on active at the moment? I was kind of thinking about talking about Raithwall on an earlier part, so that then when we hear we're going to go to his tomb, you guys might know. But the truth is, the game itself does just kind of dump his name there. But now we can look into it. So, you remember when we entered, it said a rare game was around? Well, this is it. This is the pineapple. And we have poach now, so we can do fun things. Who learnt poach, though? Did Vaughn learn poach? He didn't, but he was close to it, wasn't he? Where was poach? It was down here. It was 40 for him. Alright, well, we won't be able to poach this just yet, so I'm going to ignore it. We're going to flee away from it. But if you can get them low, you can poach them, and you're guaranteed a really good item. Like, better than what that vendor was just selling. And, so that's what this whole section's for, I guess, is for finding the pineapple there. He's basically just a rare bomb that in vanilla very rarely appears. So Raithwall is like this long-lost ancient king who was a big deal back in the day because he'd heralded in this great age of peace, particularly around this Galtean peninsula, an area where, you know, there's so much mixing. I'm sure there was lots of wars and all kinds of stuff. And information's kind of spotty about him. It unlocks more in the sage knowledge as you go along. But one of the early ones that we're pretty much about to unlock, so I'll read it out for you here, talks a bit about House Dalmasca. So remember, like, you've got House Solidor and who they are and where they come from and what they do. Well, House Dalmasca is another one of these big, ancient, long families. And here's what the sage knowledge says. That this was a bloodline begun by the second prince of Dalmasca to take up the mantle of rule after King Raithwall's passing. So this is many years ago. After Raithwall died, a new guy steps up of House Dalmasca. The reign of Raithwall's direct descendants, known as House Galtea, drew to a close after 400 years. That marked the end of the Galtean alliance and the beginning of rule by House Dalmasca. Dalmascan reign continued for nearly 7 centuries until the Arcadian invasion brought their era to an end, which we just saw, right? So 700 years of Dalmascan reign. Before that, you've got this House Galtea, and who was at the very head of that? King Raithwall. So, yeah, you can kind of track all the way back to this guy and a time long, long, long ago where, you know, the political stage and so on would have been very different. The big ticket item is that many of his treasures were lost to time, and the big mystery might be how he brought peace. Another little sage knowledge as well as we keep traveling here on loot. I don't really know where to insert this in the series, so we'll do it now. About bazaar goods. Loot from monsters and the like are crafted into articles fit for sale. Some of these are little more than refinements on the base materials. Others require crystals, concoctions, and alchemy to produce. Few require too much skill or effort, though, making crafted articles a common sight of market. Their quality, if not quite their appearance, being hardly distinguishable from that of regularly produced goods. If one is lucky, one might find some articles selling for below the going rate. So that is how the game itself describes the bazaar. I mean, maybe they've got a little thing in the clan primer, the help section, but yeah, it's just kind of flavorful, sort of nice. By the way, really weird trivia, in the game files, they call the clan primer Penello's Diary, which is kind of sweet. Now the golden amulet. This is pretty good. So, if we go inventory, what you'll notice straight away is that Vosla's 17, Penello and Barsh are very high level. Barsh is 15, Penello's 14. But what about Balthier here? He's only level 11. I've not really been using him that much on this playthrough, which makes me sad. But here you can see he's got access, he's got the perfect amount of points. Wow, this is crazy. So, he can buy the golden amulet. Now, let's have a look at it. Equip, golden amulet, Doubles LP. Oh, this is the LP one. There's one that doubles XP and there's one that doubles XP. LP and XP. So this will double his license points, which is pretty good. I guess I'll pick that up for him anyway. Why not? Since that all works. So yeah, that's a very special chest. That's a one and it's gone chest. I'm not really being clear every time I grab a chest that has a 0% chance to respawn. You know, these guaranteed chests. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but the game's data apparently can only hold something like 255 of them in the whole game, or something. It's some number like that, and then that's it. You can't have any more, and a lot of them are in use. But yeah, so that's pretty nice to grab a hold of, and we won't ever get another one from there. We have to do other quests and things if we want more, and there are opportunities for more. There's actually some cool stuff over near the river Nebra for that. I love Pinello's animations here. And these unarmed fight animations, they're so cool. Yeah, the unarmed dudes basically just punch you. Some of them have katanas, some have bows. And yeah, some of them use magic. Remember what the guy said as well about the storms, about the skies? He said when it's clear skies, elementals are around here. Yeah, there are elementals that patrol these, and they are really deadly. I'm basically kind of on edge as I'm playing here, just watching out for that. But yeah, so some chests don't reappear. The one that we collected earlier with the diamond armlet, that one also will not reappear. So it's actually kind of funny. You can go right there at the very beginning of the game. No joke. Right at the start of the game, you can go off and grab that thing. So look at that long road over there. You can walk on it. Well, road, I say. It's not really a road. And if you do go over there at the start of the game, that alpha wolf is a bitch. Okay, so I need to get my bearings here. We just did the refinery where a rare bomb lurks. Now over there is an entrance. I think we've made the right choice here. I'm looking for a bonus skill basically. Can you see that we're at the central junction, and over on our right there's that little sandy area. Not the sand sea, which we can't travel in. I just had a thought. How cool would it be if you could see the Jensen down there swimming around? But actually, if you look over there, can you see right over against that rock? That's a cave. Oh, there it is. That's where we're going. So look at that. That is a salamand entite. So entites are basically big, badass, scary elementals. It will wipe the floor with us. Let's lever it up and have a look. Very, very magically inclined. Now, the big thing about these, this is not going to count as magic, is it? Yeah, it's not. Look at it. 96,000 health. Weak to water. Woo! So yeah, you find them of different elements. There are also regular elementals too. Way down the line, we'll be dealing with those. And in fact, some of the optional hidden bosses right at the end of the game are those things. So, and to craft some of the most ultimate end game armor in the weaponry and stuff in the bazaar requires killing them as well. But we just have to flee. The main threat from them is that they attack you when you cast magic near them. So that will lure them over. Aside from that, they will be completely peaceful. But if you use magic near them, they'll go nuts. It's a bit like that Saurian before, you know, who's usually peaceful, but you can do something to aggravate it. And in that case, it's the much more simple, just, you know, attack it or steal from it or whatever. Those things, they're very peaceful. They're happy. You're fine. But if you're casting magic, they go crazy. And the problem is, as you gambit things, unfortunately, you tend to have people spamming magic around, you know. Maybe if you were playing the super classic Final Fantasy style, that wouldn't be so much of a problem. But yeah. Alright, so some other new enemies. Spear tongues. Now, again, these guys have regen on them, just like the toads we saw before. There's actually two versions of these spear tongues. There are weak ones here outside the cave. And when you go into the cave, you find more. Oh, look, another round shield. We got lucky on that. When you go inside the cave, you find more that are even more deadly. They have the same name and they would appear to be identical, but they're actually not. So let's just have everyone run over there. I just want to have a peek and see if there's a chest. Doesn't look like anything spawned over there, so I'm gonna ignore that. Oh, also, isn't there a hidden little enemy right here? So I'm just gonna have a quick look. If I stand here, doesn't it spawn the Danabias? So these are basically another species of Ichthian. We can kill them for the bestiary. There's a very big Danabia that you can find called the Bull Danabia. Kind of a weird little hidden creature. Let's actually get Balthier attacking, I suppose. And yeah, those things are peaceful too. Let's steal from it as well, I guess. We'll see what we've got. I usually don't really take my time in this section of the game because it's such a long, you know, walk that we're on. But nowadays I know a lot more. Oh, there was a chest. Nowadays I know a lot more about like the little hidden things that are around. So hey, there you go. We get silence. That's good. Silence plus a mob combo from Barsh is kind of nice. We'll be able to pick up his license and change his gear in a second. And I will go ahead and gambit everyone so they're using the fun new stuff like charming and whatever. We'll probably do that in the cave. Caves are safe, right, guys? Now, I want you to really think about where we are. We're very, very, very far away from Rabanasta right now. And do you remember when we picked up the diamond armlet, there was a cave entrance there too? Well, would you believe me if I told you that it's the same cave system? It's the Zertinan Caverns. So there's like a big time theme going on here, I think because of hourglasses and sand falling and stuff like that. The Zertinan Caverns are an epic cave system that are actually underneath a lot of the maps we've already been to. So this region is the Canopy of Clay. Creepy. The trick to it right now is that we have to fight through these flans, which we could flee through if we really wanted. Now, I don't know what they're weak to, so let's Libra up and see what their weakness is specifically. So, Earth. So, if they're weak to Earth, Ash is going to be good against them. And here, this is why I should start gambiting. Let's have her use Quake. Her new ability. And you can set her up to Quake Earth weak people specifically. And then Barsh, who I just swapped out, is actually going to be really good here because Barsh strikes with Earth. So if you watch Barsh's attacks here, usually attacking a flan's not very good, but there you can see he did 300 and Ash just did 800. 926 from Ash there. Oh, baby. And that's because she's well set up. So, yeah, we can use this to sort of fight our way through some of these flans. Now, why am I in here? In general, if you go too deep into this cave system... Also, yeah, look, Vosta has some knockback on his attack there. If you go too... We could also set these things to sleep, just as Barsh has been set to sleep. You go too deep, and you're going to find that you are vastly outmatched, and you get basically destroyed. But in the shallows of the cave is some useful stuff. Let's get rid of this flan for the crying out loud. She's not out of MP, is she? I think it's just because she's potion chaining herself, when really what I want her to do is attack. So let's get rid of the potion there. I'm going to revamp all of this in 2 seconds anyway. Oh, wow. Hold on. Did that slime just divide? I think it did. I did that whole talk about dividing slimes before. I feel like that guy did. Either that happened or a new one spawned. I'm not too sure. Barsh is awake again. She got 1,000 that time. Maybe the newly divided ones are a little bit weaker. All right, there you go. So down they go, and there's a chain of 4. Stealing from these is actually a good idea as well. I don't have either of my... Well, mind you, Fran is also a thief, so let's just have her steal. We've never really seen her doing that, but we can. Stealing's good because you get this green ooze liquid stuff, and I think if you collect 3, trading them at the bazaar will help you with some new ammunition for guns. Wow. Bash clonked it right as she cast Quake. She just got enough MP for it, and unfortunately, Fran died in that exact same moment too. Right, so if any more spawn, I'm not going to fight them. Right, oh, well, it looks like we have got through them. So this spear tongue is going to be way trickier to kill than the one we fought a second ago. Look at that, we're doing zeros and stuff. So in fact, I'm just going to execute a quick little flea here, and in this corner of this room, you really don't have to go any deeper, is this ability here, Sight Unseeing, which, to be honest, I'm not even really planning on using very much. But what Sight Unseeing does is it means while blind, you do big damage. So it's a way of sort of turning the blind condition back around on your opponents. So if Fran had it right now, she could use it. And I think it actually puts enemies like straight to HP critical or something. It's really good. It's not an ability I use much though, so I'm likely to mess up my description of it somewhat. And yes, very, very scary. Don't like hanging in there. It's very obvious that that was a flat texture, by the way, representing the rest of the area out there. Okay, so good. Now I'm going to set up our gambits. I'll be back in a moment. Pretty good. Varn is now poaching enemies at low health, and let's actually make sure he's in the party here. Let's swap Ash for Varn here. so that I can show you that mechanic. So he's our poacher, pretty good, and we can now get really good loot. Still, massive AoE, he's poisoning, otherwise he's attacking and rezzing. Balthier is still focused on potioning people. He now steals from them, and he oils anyone fire weak. So if he's out with Fran, he'll oil, and she'll blow them up. Then he's also now using first aid, which we've had for a while. It's a very minor heal, but it's free, and it's always HP proportional. So, you know, even if we had like 10,000 health, like way later on in the game, this will still be an okay heal. Moving on. Fran will now charm anyone that nobody's attacking. So that means she will confuse a target. The other thing I can do is have her do it when there's lots of foes around. She will now spam Aero as her main spell, which is the really good one that Geese was using. But as a higher priority, she'll use Fire if Oil's around because of Balthier. And Balthier is targeting the Fire Weak, so that chain works. Then also we've got Bash, who now is casting Blindner, but he still maintains Shell and Protect on himself. I haven't really shown you those animations well. So Ash is now using Dark as a default, but if they are Earth Weak, she'll use Quake. Quake does a chance for slow 67 power. Blind has a chance for blind and slightly less. I do think that Dark is better for spamming, because the blind is stronger than the slow for little creatures. Penelo will now heal people who are below 70% health with Cure, but AoE heal and stronger heal with Cure if someone's almost dead. So this is like what she was doing at Giza when we first met her, but now with a really strong spell. And then finally, Vossler will throw any extra knots of rust we have at a HP critical enemy. Oh no, that's not going to work. I guess we just have to do it this way. We'll run out of knots of rust real quick, but hey, whatever. So there you go. That's all of our new spells basically in use here. Let's get going. Oh, and a new chest. At this point, Vossler's flying gambit for the telekinesis ability is a bit better. I don't know if I was very clear. Telekinesis is a technique that's basically just a physical attack, but it will hit flying things. So if you have a greatsword, shouldn't hit a flyer, it can now. So there you go. Varn poached the Spear Tongue D for a horn. So we get some basic loot, additional loot. Now here's the thing with poach. If you're poaching regular enemies, oh no, he gets the Doom there as well. This functions like, I don't know if you guys have ever played like League of Legends, but it's like an auto attack reset. Poach is instant. So Varn might swing at someone, make it HP critical, and then he'll just attack again, like real quick. If you put it on a ranged weapon like Fran with her bow, she can poach with her bow arrows. So she'll shoot, they'll hit critical, and then she'll do like a double shot. She'll like dual strike. And the second one is an assassination. So it is a really good combat tool, and it gives you extra loot. The downside, in vanilla it's rubbish by the way, it has a really long charge, so it's impossible to gambit and it's just unreliable. The downside is that poached enemies do not give you LP or XP. And the item they give you is not in addition to their other items. It's separate to. So if you poach someone, you just get a pebble and no XP or LP. So you're really using it for like the combat benefit and just quickly sniping targets down. Alright, there's an Entite and we're going to be casting magic, so I'm running the hell away from it. So it's generally not that good as a standard thing while running around. I did want to show it off. The place it's, by the way, going down there wasn't even a good idea. It would have taken us to the wrong place. We want to go north. The best thing to do instead, actually, is have it ready, but only toggle it on when you find a rare game. Then you can use it to finish off the rare game, and you'll get that gear. Penelo is so acrobatic with that friggin' pole. There's another sage knowledge here, I think from Killing the Uteran, of this region of the world. The Zansi, a desert region in the west of the Yensa, most of it covered in fine-grained sand that ebbs and flows like water, compared from antiquity to a sea. Abandoned drilling rigs can be found here and there, dotted about the ever-shifting terrain. In the past, the Rosarian Empire sought to draw rich oils from the ground here, but relentless attacks from the Yensa, who consider the Zansi to be solely theirs, drove them away. Men are now a rare sight inside the desert borders. And here we arrive. Bit of a bonus here, with all these massive oil drums at the very northwest, there's a really good gun in a chest, if we're lucky. So, because even with the diamond armlet, we're competing against a guild drop. So, I'm gonna go over and see what we've got. And I'll also kill all these Uteran as we go. Now, you'll notice here, by the way, we're starting to build a chain. 6, it's like on the airship. I recommend not picking up the loot just yet. You can build an epic chain here. And in fact, you want a pretty good one to spawn a rare game in a moment. So let's kill as many as we can. God, I love getting hit with these condies and then instantly cleansing them because of the gambits. So nice. Uh-oh. Oh, God, I've cut ahead and Entites attacked us. Okay, so the first thing he did was spam silence on us. And now it's run away. Is it still hostile or is it chill? Oh, my God, and a trap. I think it's chill now. No, it's not chill. That's Fire Auger. Uh-oh. Okay, that's a big spell. I think he's just going to one-shot and kill us all. Oh, no, he was right nearby. Oh, just keep away. They don't really pursue you for very long, especially if you're not using magic. All right, here's the chest, by the way. Ah, we got Gil. God damn it. Well, that was not worth. I'm glad I cut that little bit out. Back to the south of the drums now where we were. You got these 2 chests here. It's pretty good. We got a linen cuirass here. That's going to be a higher tier. And look at this. Beautiful view out over the sand sea. Look, it almost looks like it opens to the coast. Is that really the coast over there? Did they do that right? I guess maybe? Maybe. And look, the caverns are listed as under the water as well. And you'll see why later. Could it be that those caverns go all the way over to Kerwan? Surely not. Right, this is the zone boundary. Okay, good. So one last screen here, and we'll be out of the Ogre Yensa Sand Sea. So there are 2 optional spells. We got 1, Sight Unseeing. There is another. It's not in Yensa. It's here, isn't it? I think we might have missed a spell. I'll probably backtrack and grab. It's actually a really good one, too, related to a technique I alluded to earlier, but didn't divulge on. There's Charm. Oh, he's immune to Charm. Really? Oh, that's annoying. And she's just going to spam it now because he's immune. That sucks. Back over to Sage Knowledge. Killing zombies in the Barheim Passage gave us this information about mist. Do you remember Fran's been talking about mist and we saw it a little bit? Well, here's what it is. Really important for this game's setting as well. Naturally occurring energy found in almost all regions of the world, affecting all living things, the climate and even the land itself. It's like the Force, guys. Magic is but one of the diverse methods of harnessing the power of mist, the most common being via its controlled release from magicite, an ore known to hold high concentrations of condensed mist within its crystalline structure. For larger effects, a greater amount of mist is required, making particularly rich magicite a valuable commodity. And we learn this and then go to Bajerba. What a surprise. There are marked regional differences in the amount of mist contained in the atmosphere and soil. While typically invisible to the naked eye, high densities of mist will occasionally manifest in very visible phenomena. Remember, that's what happened with the fire main in the Garamscythe waterway? We saw mist. The highest concentrations of mist can even do damage, leading to over-rapid changes in the environment and violent behavior among animals and those more sensitive to the mist effect. Well, we don't seem to be very sensitive to the mist effect as far as we know for now, so that's fine. But yeah, it's kind of this big all-encompassing thing, and magicite is releasing mist, technically. Like, magic is just like a way you can harness mist. Mist is really the be-all and end-all, though. Hopefully that makes sense. Right, so what was here? We get a high potion. High potions are really, really very, very, very potent heals, so it's a good thing to grab a hold of. There are a ton of chests here. I actually feel very, very on edge, like there's probably a trap around. So let's leave remote and just have a quick look. I feel like there are going to be traps here. No traps. I swear there's usually traps around chests like this. Come on, Balthier, are you going to shoot him or what? The guns are really good, strong. They're just slow, so I don't know. If he's using a lot of items as well, he has these like long aftercasts on everything he does. A high ether, nice. Now that's going to be good as we go through the Yensa. And we might start running low on ethers. There is a chance to stop and rest up. So you guys worry. There's actually 2 exits to this region, believe it or not. Which one are we looking at the moment? We're looking at the north one. There's a south exit as well. To tell you the truth, I kind of wanted to go to the south exit first for you all, but it's not a big deal. We find another way down there pretty quick. And you find different things happening depending on whether you go north or south. It's quite fun. So yeah, mist is a pretty big deal, really. And in the Sage Knowledge, you know, it said that there's regional differences in the amount of mist. I guess, does that mean that Bujerba was a region with lots of mist, and then it somehow all got caught in the rock and became ore? And so much of it was there, the whole thing like floated up. I like that idea. But also, you should know that like each continent has different levels of mist that kind of comes in different ways. Particularly XI, that southern continent where there is no big superpower. Well, there's loads of mist there. Maybe that's why XI has no big civilization. Do you guys see that? Did you look? You gotta look at this, right? That looks perfectly fine and safe there. I just caught it. Libra just ran out. Uh-oh, 3 traps. So if you hit one and then you think, oh no, I'm gonna be fine, and then you just keep going, you're gonna get hit by the other one. So we don't have anyone automatically antidoting right now. That one's important to get rid of because of the bamboo arrows. Otherwise, we're just gonna be wasting potions. There's actually a really high variety of types of traps in this game, but mostly we'll be seeing explosions. So here things are looking a little bit dicey, aren't they? Well, what we can do is come over to Ash. Oh, wait, hold on. Did I not... After we reloaded all that stuff before, does she not have the license anymore? She doesn't! Ha! Because we beat Geese without this in the end. Well, she doesn't have the license. Alright, I guess we'll talk about her special ability later and the quickenings later. That's hilarious. I mean, we got some good use out of other stuff there. Okay, we get another level. That's good. We might be a bit uneven with the levels, but I'm really happy to get those. And all the LP here too. This is a weird place because in the vanilla game, what happens, especially if you're doing side quests, is all the licenses are really cheap. So this feels like a slog because you're getting LP and stuff, but you don't care anymore because you've got plenty. In fact, you kind of get ahead of the game. You start unlocking all the licenses before the gear and stuff's even available. But here, I'm just really happy to actually keep building that stuff up because I want as much as possible. I'm really happy with that. So here, she should really be using Cura. Did I mess up the priorities? I think I did. So let's have her use Cura because everyone's very, very weak at the moment. If Vossler can survive, that's excellent. She cast it on herself, not on Vossler. And he got it last. But there you go. So you see, that was AoE, and it was basically a full heal for all of us. Also, Ash is asleep, so I'm just going to bonk her on the head. Nice and light, nothing too crazy. There you go. And then we'll cure her up. Also, I don't think she's gambited for Poisoner. Or she might be. She's just out of MP because we just did 2 very, very high-level spells. Or high-potency spells, I should say. Not really high-level spells. I don't really want her just sitting there using Cure every time she gets a bit. I want her to stockpile and then poison her. So I'm going to ether her. We don't have Balthier out, so whatever. I also kind of want her to raise our allies. So with this guy dead, this section over here, this is where a rare game can spawn called the Zertinan Exile. And he's kind of a special guy in that he looks different to all of the other Zeritans. He will only spawn, though, if you enter the map with a high chain. In fact, I think in vanilla, the chain that it asks you for is like 90 kills. It's, what is it, 90? It's something really high, like 60 or 90. Now, you'll notice when we entered, we never got that pop-up saying he's here. But he will be around, and we have a reason to come back in a bit anyway, so even if we don't see him this first time, I'm not too worried about that. Now, the blind on Barsh is a bit of a problem. Again, we're out of MP. Really, what we need to do is dedicate her to either healing or cleansing. The eye drops are probably the better way of doing things for now. So who's this? This is a regular Yensa. I think there's a good chest. Is this it? These big machine areas tend to have pretty good chests in them. I think round the top we'll find one in a second. Oh yeah, I moved Vossler back to Blitz, as you can clearly see. Well, that's just a gold needle. We don't really care about that too much. Keep the poison going. There's also a regen weapon that Penelo can get here, where she attacks people and applies regen, which allows you to massively heal up. It's so good. Look, we're on a 16 chain now. You can even just leave people poisoned. Ash is asleep back there as well. That's a bit concerning. You can just leave them poisoned and the regen will heal them up more than the poison will hurt them, which is excellent, frankly. Yeah, this chest here. I think this is a 100% chest. You don't need diamond armlet or anything. Oh, a remedy? Maybe it's not a 100% chest. Maybe there's some RNG on that. Well, there you go. Look, she got the MP for it anyway. And down the other side, past where the exile would be, we see what appears to be another cave. But don't worry, that one's not Zertinan. We're actually right next to her. There you go, she woke up. We did a whole ring. Hello again, Ash. This stuff always reminds me of like Al Bhed architecture, I don't know. I think it's just because the games visually are so similar. Right, so, oh, and we get a, I'm pretty sure there's traps. So let's be really careful here by doing this. I love playing the game solo, by the way. I think it's really good. Now, if there is a trap, you can just like edge to the edge of it, like this, and you can nab it. Are we gonna nod of rust again? Well, there you go. So the Danabias spawn, or Danbanias. I'm sure we could kill more to fully finish off their bestiary entry. But we get to take a break in this cave now. God, I hope this is the right place. It has to be, surely. Yeah, it is. Okay, good. I was really scared we'd found another entrance to Zertinan, because there's a few. There's actually a sneaky exit to the Zertinan that worms you back here. So, Namiensa. At this place, we have a Moogle speaking to that guy who runs off. Hello. A Sand Sea Moogle? I didn't realise there were Moogles out here in the Sand Sea. Did you see that Uter Jensen just now, Kupo? They're usually a violent lot, but this one wanted help. Interested? Sure, tell me. The Uter Jensen are all up in a panic about a creature on the Namiensa Sand Sea. Their blood enemy, it seems. One of them was asking for help. Are Uter Jensen asking for help? Whatever it is, it's got to be bad, Kupo. You look pretty strong. Maybe you could have a swing at the thing, Kupo? It's supposed to be something like a giant tortoise. He said he'd found some treasure of the Sand Sea too. Why, you might be able to claim that as a reward if you're successful, Kupo. If you defeat this beast, you could claim the treasure of the Sand Sea. Look for the tortoise, Kupo. What the hell is the treasure of the Sand Sea? Also, a lovely vista there, eh? Treasure of the Sand Sea. Well, we don't know. So this is actually an optional quest that will help us with some bosses later. In fact, as well, by the way, these Alaroons, one of the other things I was getting from them with lots of steals and chains. Oh, we can bring everyone out now. In fact, let's change the party up a good bit. Who's weak? Fran and Balthier. I've been neglecting you two. One of the big things is that there's going to be a boss that does a lot of fire. At the end of this section, we're going to be dealing with fire. Her charge is not working, her charm, because whenever I'm trying to use it, it's against these things, which are immune. It's good against the other guys. They'll like run around rampaging against one another, but these things are immune. How annoying is that? So, yeah, stealing handkerchiefs from these while you're out here is very good. There you go. That's it, Fran. You spam those arrows out. She really is a rather competent character. In fact, playing with black mages is one of my favorite things to do in this game. It's just Vossler's even more of a boss. I kind of wanted to gambit Vossler's like HP sacrifice massive damage ability. But I don't know how. In fact, we haven't seen him use that yet. So here, I'll show you. Look at these guys patrolling over here. Look at that. Look at the sea. I guess for these guys, we're on the coast, right? So here, Soul Eater. Ready? He goes for the attack. Bash has the emobe. Oh, it died. Damn, so we swapped back to Blitz with its long-ass charge time. Damn it. And in fact, Bash now probably has enough for axes and hammers. Look at that. Look at my impeccable sense for that, guys. I had 2 extra LP. So now we can be disable striking with the Warhammer, which is really a big step up. Look at this thing. Oh, baby. And yeah, I kind of think of hammers as two-handed, but you can wield it with a shield here. Right, what I'm going to do is skip over some of these guys because you should find the giant tortoise just up ahead. Sometimes there's a chest over there. And what I really want to do is get to the south section. So we're at the Uter Jensen Sand Sea. You'll see if we just walk along some planks down there, we will find the other crystal. And usually I'd fight these guys. But again, it's getting to that time where I have to leave again for the day, guys. Oh. When I watch LPs, I get really into them, and I hate the end of video moments. I don't know how you guys feel right now watching this, but I loathe it. Anyway, look, these guys are not interested in fighting us. We're gonna Phoenix down. They're not interested in fighting us. They're just charging on over there to this big boy. So he is the Uter Eater. Now the Uter Eater, let's throw a Libra Mo. I'm pretty sure we give him a scan. He's weak to arrow. All right, never mind. I thought he was weak to fire. I was going to do the fire oil combo. By the way, there is ample opportunity for us to see that, guys. Don't you worry. I know it's been quite a few videos and it's been available and we haven't seen it. Doing fire combos is a massive thing in the game. So yeah, all the Uteran are weak to arrows. So Fran, if you look at this, she's landing some ludicrously strong shots here. Ready? Boom. 827 right there. In fact, Ash is giving her for a run for her money, isn't she? And also, Arrow has a chance to immobe. That's its special thing. Which means this guy can't even do much to us. This is the first tortoise we've seen in the game as well, I believe. Also, Balthier, did you steal from it? I think we might be able to poach to get its next thing down as well. But yeah, like the Adamantoise is a pretty standard thing from Final Fantasy. And this is kind of a full type of creature here on this one. I don't know whether there's kind of a cultural thing that I'm missing out on because I'm not Japanese. About, you know, big shelled creatures with heads on them or something. You'll notice that this guy moves slow as well. Enemies have different movement rates. This guy's one is slow. Also, he has Protect, so he's really not taking much damage from anything aside from the magic. We got a choice. We could either break that with a Dispel Mote, or we can Ether Fran so that then she starts doing big damage again. And we got him. I saw we got him at least half health. Ooh, he's pretty dangerous when he's low. Don't waste your MP on Cure, please. Let's turn that off of her now. We don't really need her as like a secondary kind of... Oh, I wonder if he's immune to Charm. That'd be kind of funny. He's HP critical, we can see, so it's just one more spell. Here it comes. Yeah, we don't need Fran doing that as a backup. And down he goes. And in fact, this guy's so special, it says the Uteran Eater's fallen. If we didn't enter from this area, that creature would not be there, and the Uteran fighting it would not be there either. We only got that because we spoke to the Moogle and we asked for extra details from the Moogle. So that's quite nice. Now again, Voss is dead there, but don't you guys worry. We'll get a crystal. It's more efficient for me to save the Phoenix down. I really hope that you guys understand, like when I run around with Fran like this with a little bit of health lost, I mean, for her as a mage, it's not a good idea, and she's very squishy. I grant that. But for your weapon users, it's okay, because, you know, you want more combos. It ends the fights quicker. As long as they don't die, you know. I think that Square actually had a really interesting balance and dynamic going on under the hood on 12, which is that, like, you have an incentive to stay squishy. You know, the idea of healing back up to max every single fight. That guy was amazing with his katana there. Right as she was about to kill him with arrow. The idea of fully healing up after every fight can seem like busy work in a lot of games. This thing out here in these reeds. Let's see what we got. Well, no, I do want to open on Bash. Let's see what he gets. A Tufter Phoenix down again, okay? We're getting the item rolls. So, and Phoenix sounds good. Lots of money in those, and obviously we're getting these deaths. It can be busy work, but in this game, you kind of get to make it a strategic decision. Do you keep them low? Do you build them up? Right. Now, this is probably the better of the places. That's why I said before, no, we could have walked through these. Remember right at the start, you can just clutch the south wall. And we would have got here in just a couple of screens, the whole video. But you get a full teleport crystal this time. That means we can get back to Rabanastre comfortably. And also, there's new merchants. This guy called Dice. What are you doing out here? Oh, unusual to see people out here. We're trying to catch us some sandfish, but they're not biting. Why have you come to such a place? You seem to be adventurers, yes. Surely you did not come to hunt the treasure in the Valley of the Dead. Maybe we did. The Valley of the Dead? Treasure hunter or no, you'd best avoid that place, lest you care to tangle with an avian most fell. Speaking of which, you have all the equipment you need. The Ensign Sand Sea is a vast place. If you need something, might be I can help you. I'm going to make sure I've got stocked up on all this kind of stuff, especially the slow removers. Make sure we've got our Echo Herbs, because I do want to have those gambits ready for people. God, I wish we could ride on his chocobo. So, I guess I've misread the time a little bit here. I thought we were right at the end, but we can squeeze out a few more minutes into this part. We can. So, here, I'm going to do something kind of weird and silly. Let's see if we can get through the Nam Yensa right now, before the end of the video, which shouldn't be too bad. Here we're at Augur Hill. Up here was the Withering Shores. And if we just head west very directly, you can get through the Yellow Sands, and then the Domains of the Sand Queen, and the Trail of the Fading Warmth. It's not too long of a walk. And once we get through, we get a cool cutscene, which I really just kind of want you guys to see. Plus, it's a better place to end up there, really. That me taking a beeline here like this doesn't mean that we're just basically skipping through this area. Don't worry, there'll be a little bit of backtracking, and I'll show you why. Oh, look, there you go. There's one of the bulls. Look at how big these guys are. The enemies that we'll find in this map tend to be a lot more interesting. Like these guys, for example. These are called Bergoglies. They're actually really scary. They're probably one of the most dangerous enemies we'll find. I guess when you get far enough out into these remote areas, there's new wildlife that humans just never really encroach on, and the only thing they ever interact with is these tribes, and that's about it. It's nice to speak with the Moogle up there as well and realize that these tribes are actually kind of intelligent too at the same time, you know? So yeah, a little bit more rigging, even though we're kind of in another section. I always got the impression that maybe it was another tribe sort of enjoyed this area. You can go back up onto the rigging a little if you like, and in fact, do you remember we got, oh yeah, and there's some new cockatrices, these being the axe beaks. Oh, and an entrance to the Zertinan Caverns down there. So hold on, we do want to go up onto the rigging. My bad. I thought we had to avoid it. But I guess we need to take a little hint back, a little trip back up. Where's the way up? Across that bridge, maybe, I guess? Oh yeah, don't worry. We got ample opportunity to grab these chests. We can read more sage knowledge as we go through and all of this. So have you noticed 12 does this thing as well quite regularly where you start like a dungeon or a new adventure out in the open world somewhere, and they give you this hint. Here, we're going to toggle off Bash's gambits so that he will let us open the chest. Otherwise, he's going to be casting Shell and Protect and stuff, and it's not going to be good. You'll start like some kind of exploration sequence, and you know, Fran will say, oh, there's something here, and then you realize what it is, or they'll mention the mysterious avian in the future, or when we were in Barheim Passage, Fran was kind of freaked out by the mist, and they were like, something's close, and then of course that turned out to be the boss at the end. You know, they tried to keep you thinking ahead, and I really like that. That very much appeals to my sensibilities, I must say. So yeah, we just got to get down onto that sand and across that bridge. Look how long that walkway is. Imagine a version where the loading screens were different and you actually had to walk on those. One more view out towards the waters, which is weird because I actually think we're kind of looking at the north on that one. These guys sneaking by. And now here's where we hug. Yeah, all right, there you go. So look, we actually kind of got a choice as well here. We could have gone the way I went on that platform, or we could have used the other one. I like it. These guys aren't actually that hostile if we don't get too... I mean, look at them shuffling along there. They're not too hostile if we don't go directly in front of their line of sight. Now, there is a spell out on that dock. Is it a spell on that dock? I'm pretty sure it's a spell on that dock. There's a reason for us to go there, for sure. And in fact, there's some rare game around as well, which you might want to pay attention to if you're trying to beat the whole bestiary. Watching out for that. And here we go. This is it. This is the last map. This is the Trail of Fading Warmth. Now, what does that mean? The Trail of Fading Warmth. Does it mean we're finally leaving the desert out here? We're going to see a cutscene in a second that suggests this Valley of the Dead is still well and truly in the middle of it all. So what, do you think the mists are a bit messy here or something? Axe beaks are scary. Do you remember how the other ones applied Petrify? I think those guys have a different condition. It might be sleep. Poor Fran is asleep over there and probably going to get her ass handed to her. Sorry, Fran. That little cave there is filled with traps. Join me next time for a little exploration into that. That's where we'll get... Do you remember we got an amulet with double LP? We'll get double XP in that one. And here you go. So a nice little representation here of what it's like to just make a beeline, which is more than possible. They do encourage you to use the flea mechanic. And look who beat us here. It's Dice again. Dude. Good stuff. You still wandering these reaches? Time to give up treasure hunting, I'd say. The shining bird will peck at your bones, boy. Lo there, adventurer. If you're truly set on going into the Valley of the Dead, I'll give you some advice. The avian there is said to be invincible, but it has a weakness. I'm sure the Uteran Yensa knows something. This Sansi is theirs, you see. You can't just go giving people full advice like that. Oh, sorry, that was the woman that was speaking. Sorry, everything about the Uteran. What if they actually went out and tried to do it? There'd be blood on your hands. That said, if anyone knows the way through the Valley of the Dead, it is the Uteran Yensa. But how to ask? They don't speak our tongue. But, by the by, you need anything? Take a look at my wares. You might just be surprised what you find. So he sells a bunch of amazing stuff, including the first bombs. Ooh, hell yeah, baby. Look at that big boost there. We'll deal with that all soon. But what I want to show you guys is the experience of walking into the Valley of the Dead itself. We're finally here. That feels pretty good. A bit wonky, but we got there in one video. Lots of exploration in the first. And oh dear, they give us, in the first half and then kind of making a beeline on the second half, they're giving us the option to save our game. Weird. That happens in a few Final Fantasies, you know. It always feels like it's a big moment when it occurs. Look at this. Look at how well hidden this place is. It's gorgeous. I love this place. This was in the opening cutscene too. I was so thrilled about this. So desperate to find a temple or something. We still don't have any summons, guys. And yeah, you can imagine this is properly hidden because you can't fly above it on an airship or whatever. Join me next time for this insane looking place. The Tomb of Raithwall.